Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm hearing an echo of myself. That's awkward. Hopefully, you guys aren't hearing an echo. Echoes are annoying. Okay, so I'm just double checking to make sure that everything's working and that we're live. So, okay, yes, we are good. So I'm excited to have Gita on here today. Gita is one of my favorite people, hands down. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. So before we let Gita kind of take over, I'm gonna let her say whatever the heck she wants. Oh, I'm like not swearing. Whatever the fuck she wants, she can say whatever the fuck she wants. So, okay, so quick little recap. So about 6, 7 months ago, I was working with a mentor and a coach that's brilliant in what she does. She's a very gifted person. However, there was one thing that she was teaching me that was not really aligned, but I was doing it anyways because I wanted to be coachable and I wanted to be like a really good student or whatever. And so I was doing it, but it was a way of engaging with prospecting and getting clients that was a pushing and a convincing and a more of a hard selling space. And it worked sort of. And for those of you that are out there that are in sales or entrepreneurs or you are a coach, I want to let you know that you do not have to push. You do not have to be convincing. You do not have to have 10, consult calls a week to try to book one person, that it really can be simple and easy and flow. And so at the time when I attracted Gita into my space, when I manifested her and the other people that are in the program with her right now, I had decided that I was done with that. I was done with the bullshit and I wasn't going to play that game anymore. And I was going to release it and I was going to hold healthy boundaries for like my rates and, my agreements I have with my clients about when they show up and all of those things. But that I wasn't going to try to convince anyone anymore. Okay. And this is, anyways, so Gita, hopefully you can maybe touch on that a little bit and why it's been different and what this has created for you. Because when we first talked, Gita, you'll remember, and I wish I'd recorded it. You were so discouraged. You were
Yeah.
so down. And anyways, I just love for you to share just whatever you want.
Okay. So, oh my gosh, I've seen. Oh, I'm echoing. I don't know how to switch. Okay. So when I've seen Nancy about online, and I've always loved her topics because she's like really edgy. But there was this one time I will never forget. Was it like 8 weeks ago? God, it feels like I've known you forever because we've known each other in past lives, but that's another story. And I remember you was wearing a blue t-shirt with white writing, and you were talking about like something so conscious and so fucking evolved, and you said something about cults and just how it's showing up in the coaching industry. And I was like, motherfucker, what? That is the conversation I've been having with myself and like maybe a few others around me. And she fucking sees it. And just your energy was just so fucking amazing. So then obviously we've started working together, and oh my god, I just knew from your energy and fucking who you were, and just you just have this like really big like fucking heart like mine, like you have this fucking heart and you function from there, but you have this brilliance about like how you just deliver and speak and just coach, and it was just so beautiful. It's like you activated me. It was like I knew everything in my head, and I'm very like a head wired girl because of like my background in the corporate world. It was always program and project management, consulting, strategy, but it's like you came in and you like integrated it with my heart, and it was so deep. Like the changes in my life are fucking night and day. There is hands down no other coach there's no other coach for me. And because of some of the deep changes. So I try not to get emotional, but I'm always like a little bit emotional. And for the first time I actually saw someone who was me and could help me move forward. And I've really tried the hard selling coaching, and it didn't fit with me. It didn't fit with who I am, because I'm very much about love. I'm I just want to share love. I just want to be love. I do not want to force someone to work with me. Someone should be able to look at me and go, fuck, you are what I'm looking for. And that's how my clients show up now. Since I've started working with you, I get messages, you are fucking who I've been looking for. I can just be on a consultation call and that client may not sign me up, but they will tell me my fucking life has changed since I've had that conversation with you. And you are exactly the same for me. You're like my little Yoda, like I'm my little Yoda for my clients, or my little Morpheus. It's just fucking brilliant. And just the way you did it, like, it's like there was no good or bad. You didn't judge me with anything. You just allowed me to move through it. And you would always say, like, I remember when I was going to do my live. Do you remember when I was going to do my live? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do my live. I'm going to do my live. And I'm a little bit panicked. And you was like, you know what? If you go on and you do your live, absolutely fine. If you don't, I still love you and I'm still here for you. Oh my God, that still rings in my head. It's like you gave me permission. And it's the same thing I give to my clients. And I couldn't understand what my clients felt working with me until I started working with you. And hands down, you are the best coach. Yeah, absolutely. For me, you are absolutely the best coach. You function from my heart. You are a mirror of me. We've known each other lifetimes, Nancy. You know, this is not our first gig. And it's been transformational in like signing up clients from a place of love. That's what I've been doing, signing up clients from a place of love. I feel completely happy just where I am. Like, I make my heaven where I am. And that's just a really beautiful place for me, right? It's just a really beautiful place. And the people that I get to interact with, all those interactions are beautiful. I can look for them from a very, very different perspective. So you're a very evolved, conscious being. And that fits for me. That's who and I didn't even know you were out there. I didn't know you were out there. Like, am I making sense? So I am so glad. I saw you that day with that t-shirt. And when you were talking about cults, I was like, fucking hell, oh my God, it was just, it was just amazing. I knew from that moment, like, you saw things that other people couldn't see necessarily. And that was beautiful because you saw what I could see. And it was just, my life is different. I remember I was very panicked about stepping out. I didn't even really know how I served my clients. I thought I had to try and package it up in this, I don't know, this fancy thing. And I didn't even know what this fancy thing was, because no one could actually understand me and my gift. And then you just managed to pin it down, and say, this is exactly what you do. And no, you don't have to go out there and fucking force it. And you can attract your soul clients. And you know, I'm not about the money. Like, I love money. I am hold my hands up. I love money. My feminine loves money. She loves all the nice things in life. But my heart is all about creating a shift in humans. And that's what you're about. And so we just, it's like a little love fest. And I have love fest with my clients. Love fest with you.
I love this.
My life is different. I've integrated. It's like when you say something, it's like it activates. It literally activates. I can't. I don't even know how to put that into words, to be quite honest. And it activates something in me that is so deep. And I could have maybe heard the message like 100 times from other people, but just when you say it, I just have this really strong belief in what you're saying to me. So it is deep, and I can just be me. Like, I can just be Gita in her brilliance and her genius and her crazy and her heart. And it was such a relief to know I could just be me, show up, and I could impact people's lives in that from just being me.
Yeah.
And that, like I've said to you, there isn't enough words to thank you. I really believe this was preordained by something way higher than you or me, our meeting.
Wow.
I honestly believe that.
Wow.
Nancy is not just like a coach out there. She's deeper. Like she fucking activates you.
Wow. Ah, I'm so excited to see you in real life in a couple of weeks at our retreat in San Diego. I'm so excited. So I had no idea where this was going to go. I just receive all of that. Thank you so much. At the heart, I believe, of the message, it can sound so simple that people don't understand how powerful it is. It's to make where you are right now your heaven, like you said, and to give yourself full permission to be yourself and to know that that's enough. And when we stop efforting and like trying to be something and trying to look a certain way, we realize that we're enough as we are. And I mean, I've loved watching you shift and holding a space in a container for you. And I love the way you say that because it's true. It's an activation. And you come into the container of the coaching experience and the relationship, and so many things happen, not even during the calls, just being in the energy, just being connected. It does things.
Yes, even outside of that, I just feel really different. And it's so deep within my soul. I cannot explain it. I cannot. My clients experience
Yes.
as well, like my clients experience the huge shift and changes in me. They then go on to experience that. So all of these things have like ripple down effects. It does have ripples.
Yeah.
Huge ripples.
Huge. And that's the point, right? So I feel a little bit emotional right now because there's been a lot of times, especially in the last couple of months, where I've just wanted to say, fuck it. Fuck it all. You know? And I think we all get to that point, you know? I mean, you were to that point, babes. Like when you moved back to the UK and your business started just slowing down a little bit and you got sidetracked and you went into those dark places in your heart feeling, all the things, right? The doubt, the worthlessness, all of that.
Oh yeah, not good enough. Like should have.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was trying to do all these like. How do I write my sales page? How do I do this? How do I show up? And everything just felt so fake. But I thought that's how it had to be. Now to realize that actually it doesn't have to be. And yes, I've had like really good financial gains working with Nancy. If anyone's wondering, yes, I've had very good financial gains. I'm like fucking over the moon with them. However, I only work with soul clients. Like if it's not for me, if it's not like I fucking love you, it just doesn't. I can't, because I give so much of my heart. I bring so much of my heart and who I am into it. It wouldn't be fair for them and it wouldn't be fair for me, because I want to be able to love on my clients, because with that love there's a huge transformation and you carry that love. So obviously that container, when we step into it, that love is transformational. Like love is the most powerfully transformational energy, and you gave me permission to actually show up and be that big love bubble in the world.
Yes.
And so you can never like, oh my gosh, yeah. I don't carry any
well,
of like.
and how different is that though, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that it's an energy of settling, right? It's an energy of the lack. There's not enough. There's not like, when's the next person going to show up? When is the next lead going to come into my space? And this happens in dating too, right? Like, I'm so desperate for companionship or whatever that we get into this place where we try to make someone fit into the parameters, which really isn't fair to them or to us, right? Because if it's not a soulmate match for me with a client, I don't want to keep them from their soulmate coach. If there's so many coaches I want to make it really easy for them to find you. And if I'm holding on to them or trying to force something or whatever, it's not going to do that. And it's an interesting lesson to learn, and it is way different than what's going on in a lot of places in business. It's a revolution in thinking to release people and to not settle. Yeah.
Yes. And there's obviously, I'm a very like touchy feely sort of person, so I've just given everybody like my huge heart just on screen, like with all the emotion. But on a very practical level, Nancy has a very like structured way she walks you through your development process, like how you start to understand yourself, then to take ownership, then to watch with the language you're using in your everyday life, so that you're seeing the shifts as you're taking the actions in this container of love. So there is this real practical side to it, but it's in this container of just love and being. And I know I can tell Nancy anything, and she's not going to sit there and judge me. She's going to go to me, oh, okay, let's look at what might be behind this, or maybe where's the body.
Let me help you.
Right.
Let me help. Wipe the fingerprints off the handle there.
Right. But there's so much comfort in that, because it allows you, for I'm sure for a lot of people, because this is how I am with my clients, it allows us, me being with you, allows me to then go, okay, I may be having a really shitty day, or this has really been going on, or actually I feel really bad about something that happened like 5 years ago, and I can come and talk to you about it, knowing that you're going to help me see a very different perspective that I maybe can't see because I'm in it. And you can be the best coach in the world, but like I say, even the sharpest sword can't carve its own handle. Like, I would hate to be the best brain surgeon in the world. I tell you what, because if something happens and I need brain surgery, I'm in a little bit of trouble unless I can operate on myself, right? So, right, and you can't, can you? So me coming to you is like you being able to see the shit that I can't see and I can't move through. So it has been really powerful in such a short space of time. I mean, these shifts happened in what, 4 weeks, like 3 weeks.
I mean, we're barely halfway through. We're barely halfway through Masters Academy. We still have the retreat.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm off to like San Diego, and things that I'd maybe been putting off a little bit, I dealt with like my immigration stuff and all of that. So I'm now like planning my life back in America and like crazy shit like that I had like completely put off the table because, oh my gosh, because I just have this real innate belief in me just being me. And it's so powerful. It's just so powerful to just love yourself where you are, to really actually just love yourself. Whether I'm fucking sitting under a bridge or whether I live in $1 billion home, I still know I'm worthy. Like it doesn't make any difference. Whether I work in a minimum £8.88 job or I work with high-end clients that are paying me 20,000 or 10,000, like, or 5,000, it doesn't change my worth. Like, I know I am worthy whether I'm sitting under a bridge or homeless. Like, that's crazy. And I knew it here, and just to be able to integrate it fully within my body has been really, 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 really powerful. Really, really powerful.
Yes. And that's the thing. If we could all just taste this, because the point of this, I mean, this is obviously a love fest and like, oh, look how awesome Nancy is, which I'm all about. I'm like, oh, stop it, Gita, stop it, stop. But it's very beautiful and very validating. And the key is to be in a place where it's not necessary to hear those things to continue on your path and to own your gifts and to own your worth. And there are times where we get discouraged or things happen that are hard. I mean, life has these obstacles. There's pain. There's things go on, right? And as we can honestly, to quit is selfish. To quit, to give up, to settle is the most selfish thing we can do. And we think sometimes that it's not. We think sometimes it's nice to not make people uncomfortable by speaking our truth. We think it's nice to, settle in the relationship that doesn't really feel good. We think it's nice to do these things like we're serving some higher purpose, but the truth is the most beautiful gift we can give the planet is living fully unleashed in our truth and in our worthiness, because it liberates everyone. As I do this work on myself, me being my like number one client at times, and the way I can be that is to think about other people. The minute that we go into our head self-doubt, like with you, Gita, one of the things I said was just like, quit being selfish. Like, you don't have to be perfect and arrived to bless people with the experiences you have. You have a lot of knowledge, you have a lot of skill sets. And even though you have certain areas of your life that things fluctuate, it doesn't mean you're not enough now to share your gift, to share your message and impact. And the thing is to remember that even one person, like we have like 4 viewers right now on with us. Even if there was just one person, it would be worth it, right? And getting out of the selfishness in our head, getting out of the insecurity. Insecurity is selfish. Being self-conscious is selfish, because as I own my worth and my gifts, it gives other people permission. As they come into a container with me, not only do they get to have me demonstrate it for them, but it gets vibrationally, energetically activated. So that can be confusing to some people, but it's kind of like they're like spiritual genes in your system. So if you've studied epigenetics on like a scientific level, you understand that some of us have predispositions for like heart disease or whatever. And based on lifestyle, based on things we do, we can actually turn those genes on and off. So they're either expressed or they're not expressed. You have like spiritual badass genes. They're either expressed or not expressed. And when you get into a container with individuals and there's this collective intention, you can turn that shit on. And it's so amazing. And as I do this work, I want you to see the ripple effects, because now Gita does this work, and then the next person does this work, and the next person does this work. And so the message, obviously, Nancy Ray is amazing. And
you are fucking amazing.
Most importantly is you can have this too in your life, in your relationships with your clients. How amazing to work with clients that you're not stressed or worried if they're going to show up to the call, if they're going to, make their payments, if they're going to receive what you have to say. You're not walking on eggshells trying to please them or any of that. It's a powerful connection, and they love you. They adore you. Gita sends me messages like every third day probably that's like, I fucking love you, like all these fun emojis. And that's what is possible for you in your personal relationships, in your work relationships, in the way you feel about yourself. But the key is you living in your genius, standing in your place on the planet, right? Not trying to be me. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be Gita. Don't try to be Tony Robbins. Don't try to be anyone else. Get back into your body, into your column of light, your purpose here. And there is a formula. Gita's right. I take people through very strategically, falling in love and owning and knowing yourself fully, creating that confidence from within, and then unleashing those gifts and standing in that fully. True confidence comes from becoming more of who you are, not more of who you think people want you to be.
So true. So true.
Beautiful. Well, we've been going for a while here. We got a really cool comment. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. Chad says, isn't it amazing what people can do? It's amazing what Nancy can do if we listen. Sometimes we need someone to just tell us to just pull our head out of our ass and just do it. That's what we need. Just be yourself and shit will work out. Work well and be fancy. Be fancy. I like that. So if anyone has any questions for Gita before we wrap this up, go ahead and throw those in the comment board. It's been so fun to have you guys here with us. We've got some fun people who've popped on throughout. Kelly showed up. Tyler. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Gita, did you have anything else you wanted to share? Any advice for people who are like looking for a coach or wanting coaching, or kind of next steps for them in their journey, their path?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So first of all, if your soul and heart has been telling you to work with Nancy and you've been holding back, like you need to like jump in. And I've got goosebumps as I say that. So like, well, you need to jump in and take that risk on yourself. Like it was the best risk, the best investment. And every time I've been like a little bit shaky with myself, Nancy has been there. Like it's never been like too much. She like holds this space, like jump in, like that's all I can say, like jump in. It was the best deep dive I did. That's about it really was.
Wow. Wow, I love that. Thank you. Yes, awesome. All right. Well, with that, you guys, I don't see any questions. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Gita. I just want to celebrate all these shifts and all these steps you've made. I know it's been scary. It's been hard. There's been some discouraging things go on in your world that it's easy to get sucked into a place of discouragement and this hopelessness, wanting to give up. But you're still here. You're doing the thing. You're touching the lives, and that's what it's all about.
That's
I
it. I get to
love
be
you.
really loved. I love you too, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see you soon, and the rest of our fun group.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. That was lovely.
absolutely.